under that. All right, got it. What is efficient customer service and the importance of delivering efficient customer service, understanding your position and the relevance to the process. Then we look at delivering efficient customer service, the importance of proper verbal communication and body language, and strategies for making the customer comfortable and receptive, and the importance of courtesy and respect, the relationship between time management and productivity. As we go along, if you have comments or questions, you may raise your hand or you may put it in the chat, and so that we have a kind of interactive session, because I am here as your facilitator, and you have a lot of experience as well, and I'm sure that your colleagues would want to hear any comment that you would have on the topic, or hear questions that you want to ask, questions that they too might want to ask. So feel free as we go along to ask questions and make comments, because we are here to share this afternoon. Efficient customer service. Customer service is the provision of service to customers before, during, and after a purchase. And so the perception of success of such interactions is dependent on the employees, who can adjust themselves to the personality of the guests. And you would have heard me speaking earlier on about issues that occur in Jamaica, and how we view service. People see service as servitude, when it ought not to be like that. So the act of taking care of the customer's needs by providing and delivering professional, helpful, high quality service. And having said all of that, as it relates to how the issues that we have with servitude, we have some excellent customer service people in Jamaica, because on a whole, we are very warm, we are very hospitable people. And for the most part, it is coming as well from our roots. The people in the East, the people in Africa, were always very warm and welcoming. And that's one of the reasons why we end up over here in the West, because others took advantage of us. But sometimes people will say that yes, slavery existed in Africa before, but it was a different kind of slavery, because those slaves in where they had it could marry into the family that had them as slaves. That was a no-no in the West, and you would have known of the atrocities in that regard. Right? So efficiency in customer service means fulfilling customer service goals with the minimum amount of effort from both sides, right? Functioning or producing effectively with the least waste of effort, right? Hence competency. The efficient and effective delivery of service involves creating a win-win situation for both the company, the institution, and its customers. To do this, a company must provide its customers with value for money and time. As a result of doing this, the customers can derive maximum benefits from the services or products delivered by a company. And even the sessions that you are in, the seminars that you attend, that's part of your ongoing development. And your companies ought to be commended for such a proactive mood, because when you operate in a competitive environment, that which all our companies operating in Jamaica, because we are part of the free market system, where you have different entities offering the same service in particular sectors, and our customers are more discerning, and they will go where they feel comfortable. And so it's very important that team players, team members are aware of their importance in this process of customer service. Other key points in efficient customer service: one should practice empathy. Yesterday we looked at that, getting into the skins of the situation, showing a certain sensitivity to the needs of others, understanding what they're going through, exercising patience and consistency, right? A lot of our customer service personnel are very good at it, very good at exercising patience and very consistent in how they deliver service. And that is why many of us, when we go overseas, we find ourselves in different entities year in, year out because of the fact that we are good customer service persons. However, there are others, as you know, that we have cause for concern as it relates to what they do when they turn up for work, right? You understand that good customer service is a continuous learning process, right? The customer service is not an event, it is really a process. And many of you are aware of this based on your own journey and your own observations and experience in your respective companies, right? You ask the customers if they understand. You show your customers your work ethic, because at the workplace there is right from wrong, and what binds people is the work that they do and the specific role that they have. And all who enter the place of work should know that they are members of a team, because the work is set up so designed that people's work flow into each other's work. Departments support each other based on the workflow of that institution, whether it is a service-driven entity or it is actually a production entity that which produces goods. But there are a lot of service entities in Jamaica. As a matter of fact, I like to say Jamaica has now become a great, well, it has always been from the days of the plantation, a big trading post, because most of the entities that we have are service driven. The financial services sector, the banks, the insurance companies, all of them service. There was a time when you go downtown and a lot of the companies were factories, light manufacturing. In the outskirts of Spanish Town, at Twickenham Park, big industrial estate, you used to have a number of factories out there. A lot of them would have moved away because of the high cost of production, etc., and the sheer competition from others who have their goods coming in to Jamaica. Right? Don't be afraid to say I don't know, because when you pretend that you know and you don't know, people see straight through you, you know. So you go to your colleagues and you get the information and you get back to them. So the honesty, as we say, is the best policy. And you have to have thick skin, because sometimes you have customers who are not at peace with themselves, and when people are not at peace with themselves, you can expect all sorts of problems, because you can't please them. There are customers who you cannot please and they don't thank you for what you do, and you have to understand that. And so when they come with all their issues, etc., and they rail and so forth, you have to diffuse the situation, and you just take it like water off a duck's back. You don't let it affect you at all. That's the whole business of having thick skin. Pay attention to the customer's experience, right? Be friendly. The most important rule in providing excellent customer service is to be friendly, because you want the people to feel at home, to feel happy, to feel valued, that their patronage is valued, and that they are important, and that you, as a representative of the company, you are welcoming them into the space. So you serve in a friendly context. You respond promptly to their needs. Nobody likes to go into a place and nobody paying them any mind, right? And even if service is being extended, it's being done in a way that you wonder what's happening. So you as service providers must know your product, you must know your service, And so many companies have their formal in-house training before people start the work. I remember years ago when I was with one of the financial institutions celebrating how many years now. And before we went in, we had to go to what was known as a training school. And they had us there for what, 2 weeks, putting us through the process, what they're all about, what to expect and so forth, telling us about the issue of ethics, etc. And just sensitizing us to the work that we are supposed to be doing when we went into the branch network. And when we went into the branch again, there was a team that was there to orientate us to the business processes that we're going to be involved in on a day-to-day basis. And it's very important that you know your product and your service, because if you don't know it, how are you going to deliver it to your customer? And you listen to your customers. Any comments so far? Any questions so far? Going once, going twice? Okay. You say thank you. Right? You get to know your customers. Many in just about every entity that you go, you have some excellent customer service reps who they know the customers. The customers are like basically family to them, you know, and that is how it should go. You ask for feedback because feedback is very important, because it will help to improve the service delivery. And you use the feedback that you receive. As we said, it will help in service delivery. Some companies, some big companies have research and development departments where feedback is used in a very deliberate way to assist in them bringing out new products, etc., and how to improve the service delivery of the institution, of the company. Importance of delivering efficient customer service. Now, as you can imagine, efficiency improves customer service, right? Customers want fast service. Giving it to them means having quick and effective customer service processes, as well as decluttering the process from the customer side. For example, you think about your purchasing process, right? When you look at, unfortunately, with us in our jurisdiction in Jamaica, in the Caribbean on a whole, and in the South on a whole, many of the companies in the South, and when I say the South, we're talking about anything that is below the North. Meaning, so in our region, we're talking about the Caribbean, Latin America. Going further, we're talking about countries in Africa, countries in Asia, and so forth. Australia is a part of the North basically because they're essentially a developed country. But for our purposes, you'll find a lot of the research is done by those people up north. So the Americans are very deliberate in what they do, a lot of research in just about everything. And so some of the examples that we have in terms of the research represent that jurisdiction. So 70% Americans spend more money to do with business with a company that offers great service. So basically what it means is that if you're not offering good service, people will just not patronize you. And companies that provide an emotional connection with customers outperforms sales growth of their competitors by 85%. Right? This basically hard data that their research would have shown. A 2% increase in customer retention is the same to profits as cutting costs by 20%. So that just gives you an idea of the importance of service, which will lead to people coming back, repeat customers, etc. In Jamaica, for instance, the hotel industry is very famous for that, repeat visitors, because aside from the sheer beauty of the island and so forth, the service given in that industry, in the various hotels, especially on the North Coast, because they are very deliberate in their service. It makes people want to come back again and again. Right? And there are many benefits of providing good customer service, and this includes customer satisfaction. Happy customers will recommend the business to others through word of mouth or social media reviews. And in this age of increased ICT applications left, right, and center, social media is a part of our lives. People now even rely on social media for information than the traditional mass media, because your phone is at your fingertips and you don't have to be waiting for the nightly news to hear certain things. If you can log on to a lot of the international news networks, and you get news, you get the news feed sometimes days before our local news media would pick it up and decide to put it into their nightly news. But the only problem with social media is that it is not one which is driven by hard research. People just go and say anything they want to say, and you will find that the level of accuracy when it comes to how people see things, you would have seen it in the US in recent times, especially in the area of the politics and so forth, religion, culture, how people just put everything on the net and people just take it up as if it is facts, when a lot of it is just, in simple terms, not facts. Most of it is garbage, basically. But it is good nonetheless to have information at your fingertips, and you can basically go through and sift through it to see what is good from what is not good, etc. And a lot of customer service, a lot of companies rather tend to use social media nowadays to get customers, to help to ensure that they are in the space, and so that people will know that they are there, etc. During the pandemic, for instance, some companies would sing the praises of the ICT platforms, which would have helped them to continue to serve. Right? And so happy customers will recommend the business to others through word of mouth or social media reviews, and this could increase the market share of the business. Some of the upstarts, the new projects, etc., you see it on the nightly news, they would have started some of them during the pandemic, and business increased by healthy percentages as a result of this platform. So satisfied customers are also likely to leave a negative review, less likely rather, to leave a negative review. And negative reviews sometimes don't work to the benefit of the company unless you are going to seriously research into it to see how you can improve as a result of it. So you don't shoot the messenger, but you try to see how the message can point you in the right direction. So by maximizing customer satisfaction, you can retain customers for longer periods. And as they continue to make a contribution to revenue and profitability, because the more customers, the more revenue, the more profits. And this has a further effect on profitability, because the cost of acquiring new customers is much higher than the cost of increasing sales to existing customers. Good service will also save time and increase productivity for your employees as well. solving all of our customers' issues when they first make contact.
Dr. Nesbitt?
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Could you just go back to that cost of acquiring new customers is much higher than the cost of increasing sales to existing customer?
Yes.
I was just, yeah, that one should really be emphasized.
Yes,
I
indeed,
think.
because
Yes.
in these days where everything has a cost attached to it, what it means, as you can appreciate for those who haven't gotten it, is that when you're trying to attract customers, you're talking about advertising. You have to set a part of budget, increase your budget for advertising, whether it is going to be through the mass media, through the print media or the electronic media, through television, or whether it's going to be through billboards or even through social media. It would all additional staff as well, increasing the complement of staff in your marketing or sales department, because the aim is to get new customers. But when you have existing customers, retaining existing customers who by extension will tell the gospel of your service, yeah, you can see the difference there.
And the opposite of that is true, because if the customer service is poor, you lose not just potentially one customer, but that bad news spread faster than good news, you know?
Indeed, especially in our society, where people always tend to focus on the negative.
Yes.
And stuff. And so that is why it's always important to not to carry all your problems to the workplace. It's bad enough that some customers have their own issues, and sometimes they come and they would treat staff as less than, right? And we can appreciate that. But your role is to serve. And when we touch on some of the other points, you will see how you can approach such customers, right? They might not necessarily thank you for it, but that's not what you're there for. You're not there for people to love you. It's not about going to the ice cream parlor to get ice cream. It's about going to work, and part of your work is to serve people, and nothing is wrong with that. You are actually earning your keep. Okay, so thanks for that, Sean. Solving all of our customers' issues when they first make contact helps to reduce the chance that they will make multiple calls. Because you know some people going to call. Because the fact is, what they're there to get service. If they don't get the service, then go and complain. And rightly so. Right? So this lets them concentrate on their own task and helps increase profitability and productivity as well. It's also important to manage customer expectations. You should have a sense of what it is that customers need, what they want, what their desires are as it relates to your area. So good service will also save time and increase productivity for your employees as well, because it means that less time will have to be spent trying to literally outfire, as we say in Jamaica. Right? Solving all of our customers' issues when they first make contact helps to reduce the chance that they'll make multiple calls, and this lets them concentrate on their own tasks and helps to increase profitability and productivity. You try to find out what your customers are buying, right? Why they are buying it and the frequency of their purchases. And that's one of the things that you'll see when you try to go on to certain sites and all of the cookies come up, and all of that, is part of this thing as to trying to track your spending habits and those kind of things. That's how sophisticated marketing has become, and research and development in the North. So you might just be saying, oh, I am basically getting information from the site, I visit the site, etc. But along with it comes the different ads, etc. And they keep asking if you want to be notified when new things come on stream, etc. All of that is designed to track your customer habits, your purchasing habits, what you like, etc. And so you have different sections in the research and development departments, in the marketing departments, etc. Public relations departments in many of these big corporations and even small corporations in these territories up north that are highly specialized. There is a specific area for every sub area. And so that's how they're able to tell, to forecast. They never go somewhere in a lot of these transnational corporations, meaning companies that operate across different borders in the world. So you have the Coca-Colas, you have the Pepsi-Colas, you name them. And this coffee place, a coffee place name, they have one down by Ligani. I don't remember the name of the coffee place. But they're all over the globe. And you have the other fast food place, Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's, you name them, Kentucky Fried Chicken, all of them. They do their research in some serious ways, do their due diligence before they set up shop anywhere. And they're all over because of how they deliberately use customer information, the patterns, the purchasing patterns, etc. And so this issue of customer service is not just about people being there physically to show them goods or to explain services. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes that provides the information that drives how people are to behave as customer service representatives in institutions, etc. That is what would have essentially fed us with what we are discussing this afternoon in terms of providing base information for us. Right? Why are they buying and why the frequency of their purchases? And when trying to understand their needs, it may be useful to know details such as their lifestyle, occupation, and interests. Right? You include any potential customers who might have inquiries about your goods and services. And it's interesting again to show you the implications of the results of a US survey. Right? During the best of times, businesses strive to be more efficient. And there are always things to improve upon, always more customers to service, always proactive outreach to do. And when circumstances shift rapidly, businesses are asked to do more with less. And it brings to light the importance of efficiency in customer service. And over the past 2 years with the COVID-19 pandemic, this has proven to be a more relevant than even in the past, right? Customer, US Online customer service entity, surveyed over 150 customer service professionals to better understand how they are being impacted by the pandemic, right? How their businesses are, their business would adjust as a result of the pandemic. Right? What customers are expecting during their greatest times of need. And one thing became abundantly clear. Being efficient and effective is not optional. You don't have a choice. Right? So across industries, customer service teams are seeing a 17% increase in customer service inquiries during the pandemic. Right? Phone inquiries are seeing the largest uptick, right? Which is like is a US term. We have it down here for small increase or slight upward trend, with a 34% increase, followed by email, a 28% increase, and by web search is a 24% increase. Right? So social channels are being impacted the least, with only 7% or a small increase. Right? So not only are companies handling more conversations, but they are doing it in largely a remote environment. You still have companies now